This video is about linear function. Consider the points P for -5, Q, A2, R, -3b. If the gradient of the line PQ is -5, find A. We know the gradient means a slope. Using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or y1 minus y2, x1 minus x2. So for A part, P and Q. So P is for -5. Q is A2. We will label x1, y1, x2, y2. Then use the formula for gradient or slope equals y1 minus y2, -5 minus 2. x1 minus x2, that's 4 minus 8, equals -7 over 4 minus 8. Then the slope given, -5, equals -7 over 4 minus 8. Then we will do cross multiply. You will get -5 times 4 minus 8 equals 1 times -7 is a -7. Distributive property, -20 plus 5a equals -7. This is a linear equation isolating the variable on one side. So we cross the river, change the sign, add 20. You will get 5a equals -7 plus 20 is 13. So divided by 5, a equals 13 over 5. Let's go to B. If the midpoint of the line segment QR is M, -1, 8, find A and B. So for Q, you have A2. For R, you have -3b. Then you have a midpoint is -1, 8. We know the formula for midpoint x equals x1 plus x2 over 2. Y equals y1 plus y2 over 2. So for midpoint problem or endpoint problem, it's very important to label your coordinates. Midpoint we label as xy. Endpoint you can label as x1, y1, x2, y2. Then you will use these two formula to set up. -1 equals a plus -3 is a minus 3 over 2. For y, you will get a equals 2 plus b over 2. Then you can do cross multiply. -1 times 2 is -2 equals 1 times a minus 3, that's a minus 3. So isolate the variable a on the right side, cross the river, change the sign. -2 plus 3 will be 1. For this one, a times 2 is 16. 1 times 2 plus b is 2 plus b. So cross the river, change the sign. 16 minus 2 is 14. This will be your answer. Let's go to C. If Q is the midpoint of the line segment PR, find A and B. We have a P for -5, Q, A2, R, -3b. Label correctly. This time, Q is the midpoint, so you will label this is x, y. This will be x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's write down the formula. X equals x1 plus x2 over 2. X is A equals x1 is 4 plus x2 is negative 3, then over 2. A equals 1 over 2. For y equals y1 plus y2 over 2. So we plug in, you have 2 equals y1 is negative 5 plus b over 2. Cross multiply. 2 times 2 is 4 equals 1 times negative 5 plus b, it will be negative 5 plus b. Then cross the river, change the sign. B equals 9. Now let's go to D. If the distance between Q and R is 2 square root of 14, the gradient of the line QR is 1 over 2. Find the value A and B. We know the distance formula equals x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Or you can use x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1. It doesn't matter which one minus which one, because you square, you will get the same answer. For the slope, you know that it's y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Or you can do y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. We are looking for the distance between Q and R. So I will write down Q is A2. R is negative 3B. Then we will use these two formula to form the equation. Before we do that, you have to label. Remember, label the coordinates. Then the first formula you will get is the distance equals A minus negative 3 squared plus 2 minus B squared. Negative negative will be a positive. So you have a square root. A plus 3 squared plus 2 minus B squared. This equals 2 square root of 14. For the second equation, you will get y1 minus y2. That is 2 minus b. x1 minus x2 is a minus negative 3 is a plus 3. Equals the slope is 1 over 2. Then you cross multiply. You will get 2 times 2 minus b equals 1 times a plus 3, just a plus 3. Then distributive property, 4 minus 2b equals a plus 3. You could say this is a linear function, and this is a quadratic function. For a quadratic function, since you have square root, both sides are square. For 2 square root of 14, you can use a graphing calculator to get the answer. Parentheses 2 second x squared 14. Then parentheses back square. Then enter. You will get 56. If you can get this without graphing calculator, definitely you will save time. 2 squared is a 4. Square root of 14 squared is a 14 equals 56. That's how you do 2 square root of 14 squared equals. When you square this square root, you will get a plus 3 squared plus 2 minus b squared. If you have one is a linear function, the other is a quadratic function, try to use a substitution to solve. Therefore, I want to get either a equals or b equals for this linear function. A equals is easier, so cross the river, change the sign. 4 minus 3 minus 2b equals a. Then you get a equals 1 minus 2b. We will plug a equals 1 minus 2b into this equation. You will get 56 equals parentheses 1 minus 2b plus 3 squared plus 2 minus b squared. 56 equals, combine like terms, you will get 4 minus 2b squared plus 2 minus b squared. We will set up equal to 0 so that we can use the graphing calculator by graphing or by equation solver. Equal to 0, cross the river, change the sign. So you have 4 minus 2b squared plus 2 minus b squared minus 56. Parentheses 4 minus 2b, 2x, change the variable into x, square, plus, parentheses, 2 minus x, square, then minus 56. Then we go to graph. Look at the window. The scale is 1 for x-axis and the scale for y-axis is 1. So this is -1, -2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can solve the equation by graphing or by equation solver. If there is only one solution, equation solver is a better choice. If the equation has more than one solution, by graphing is a better choice. This equation we will use graphing. Second trace 2. This is -2, so left bound I put the -2, enter. Right bound I will put the 0, enter, then enter. You will get -1.35. Then get the other 0. We will do second trace 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can do left bound is a 4. Enter. This is a 6. Right bound 6. Enter. Then enter. You will get 5.35. So we get B1 equals -1.35. B2 equals 5.35. Then we plug into this equation to get A1 equals 1 minus 2 times -1.35. And A2 equals 1 minus 2 times 5.35. So you will get 3.7 and this one is negative 9.7.